Hello and welcome to Stop Let's Team Up. Hey, I got a special, not special, just something that struck my fancy I wanted to talk about this weekend and put in the Saturday drop, which is now a Sunday drop because things happen. I've been reading a hardcover I got from eBay a couple weeks very cheaply called The Marvels Project by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting, which is it was a really good 8-issue miniseries, which tells the story of kind of the beginning of the Marvel superheroes of the 30s, kind of trying to tie characters into one story about, Steve getting the formula and other heroes, primarily focusing on the Angel and his connection to another character. So I'm going to go to some data, give you some publication dates and stuff like that, some characters, and then just give you my thoughts on it. It was an 8-issue miniseries, and its first issue came out August 12th, 2009, had a cover date October 2009. The last issue came out May 2010 with a cover date of July 2010. 2010, there was the hardback that I have, that I got on eBay, came out in 2011, a softcover. The creative team was... Hold on, let me scroll to that. Ed Brubaker, writer, penciler, Stephen Epting, inker, Stephen Epting, colorist, Dave Stewart, letterer, Chris Ilopoulos. I'm pronouncing it wrong, and I apologize. And editor, Tom Brevoort, the amazing Tom Brevoort. So let me give you the solicit synopsis of the whole project. The centerpiece of Marvel's 70th anniversary celebration. Who is the mysterious old man who lies on his deathbed in a hospital in 1939, and how does his passing mark the beginning of the first heroic age of the Marvel Universe and signal the rise of superheroes? Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting unveil the defining story of the Marvel Universe, revealing the hidden connections that unite earliest costume champions and whose reverberations are felt dramatically into the present day. It's a world on the brink of war and the race to create the world's first super soldier. Witness the first day of the Human Torch, Submariner, and many more, how they shaped the world to come and how the future they would create would in turn shape them. This must-read event of the season for any Marvel fan. Award-winning creators redefine Captain America for the Marvel audience. That's a good plug, and it's also really a good synopsis of it. It is a great story. It is by Brubaker and Epting, who did one of the great runs of Captain America. It's one I loved. I had the omnibus for a short time. I sold it. As one does with comic collections, sometimes you have it, you get rid of it. And I loved it. The death of Captain America, the return of Bucky, who would have thought that was possible and it would work, and Ed Brubaker and Stephen Epting did it. And I'm a big DC Golden Age fan, and you've heard me talk about that. And I haven't talked, and I've done some stuff like the Liberty Legion stuff early on in the podcast, and I love the Invaders, but I don't know the Marvel history because they've got some really obscure Golden Age characters, and they weren't as readily reprinted as at least that I had access when I was younger, and so my knowledge is very limited. I mean, I knew who some of these characters were, some I did not, and I'm going to mention a few names because I'm going to let you guys go hunt this up. But the main character is the Angel. He has been left a mask and 6 guns from his grandfather, who happens to be the 2-gun kid, and that's kind of they hint at that he is reading his grandfather's journal, who's recounting his time in his future as 2-gun kid during an Avengers story, made friends with time-traveling Hawkeye, Thor, and Moon Dragon, and came back with them to the future and lived there for several years, being, an associate Avenger, hanger-on. I don't consider he's not a full Avenger, but he's left his guns to his grandson, the Angel, and inspires him to become a hero. And this all leads into us learning the history of the other super soldiers, like Cap. We get to learn about John Steele, who'll be part of the Secret Avengers in the future. Heroes like the Ferret, who is in. I haven't read this, but someone pointed out today on Twitter. the Ferret, who plays a part in Ellison, in David Liss and Patrick Zurcher's The Mystery Men, which I'm gonna hunt down and read because it looks interesting, and I like that. I love that artist. But Thomas Halloway becomes the angel, and you see other heroes. And what I love about it is it just really 8 issues goes through. Each issue is an amazing, solid piece of storytelling, and there's a lot of stuff. The art's gorgeous, but you see him become, in the first issue, he goes. The Human Torch sets a fire as because if you know the Human Torch's thing is he's created, but every time he's exposed to air, he bursts in the fire. So his creator, Professor Horton, buries him in a glass tube in concrete, and you find out that Horton has actually been communicating with him, and he finally breaks free and burns down a building, and Halloway jumps to the thing, and he realizes that, he's going to become a hero. And all in the background is you have Nick Fury and his best friend Red being sent. He's as their no better term, but mercenaries, and they're sent over to on a secret mission from the government to not kidnap, but retrieve Professor Erskine, the creator of the super soldier formula, who will then eventually put it in Steve Rogers, and you see Namor. So you get the beginning of all this in this first issue, and there's not even, Angel didn't put on a costume until the second issue, and he's wearing Two Guns mask. And then there are other characters that pop up, and they show the Firey Mask, the Phantom Bullet, who I'd never heard of, and Mr. E. And I know the Firey Mask and Mr. E from the Superheroes Project from Dynamite. Not from that, that too, but also because they're public domain characters. All these are in public domain. But they were also in the 12, which is another Marvel project that I don't think I've read the whole thing. So I'd like to get that in a trade and read it. It had some publication issues where it was held up. But this is just beautiful. And you get to see, it's 8 issues, so it's a slow burn. And there are all these Easter eggs. Like the Phantom Bullet, since he was a short-run comic, they have him die very early. And the same with the Ferret. They're introduced, and they have their little... Well, Phantom Bullet you really don't see, but the Ferret is on he's working a case, which ends up tying into all this. Nick and Red, they free Professor Erskine, but also there's a character, John Steele, who was in Daring Comics #1, who's kind of a World War I super soldier, and eventually is used later in Thunderbolts as part of the V Battalion. So is Thomas Halloway. And if you haven't read that, that's really... Thunderbolts is one of those great comics. And if you read the Busiek through Fabian Nietzsche's run of the original, it is well worth your time. It's one of the best comics of that time. It is really... And I was late to the party on that one, but it is great. But you see all these characters develop, and it's just such a well-paced, beautifully told story with beautiful images. What is issue? Was it chapter? Chapter 5, issue 5 is Cap getting his powers, and the introduction of the Red Skull, and Steele and Nick Fury's guys are all working behind the lines. Fighting the bad guys in Germany, and Cap is him and the Angel meet. It's just great. It is well worth your time. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm not going to cover all 8 issues in, detail, and I didn't want to do it over 8 weeks. But you see not only the characters that were created in the 30s and early 40s in here, but you also see some of the stuff that like Roy did in The Invaders. You hear about the 2 Farnsworth brothers in World War One. One becomes the Destroyer. He has been experimented on, and his brother becomes Union Jack, and Union Jack, and then his son is the Union Jack of World War II, and there's still a Union Jack, and they don't bring up Spitfire in it, but it's all tied in, and it's just a tightly written story. It is very much like a 40s movie to me. It is really told in that way, and that or film noir in the 50s reflecting on what was happening in the 50s. And Ed Brubaker he writes a wonderful script, and Epting's art, as always, is just dynamic and cinematic in a lot of way. So I really think you should check it out. I mean, it's such a good story, and it really just tells the story of all these creations. And I'm going to put some images up by some people and put some of the name of the heroes, Thin Man and stuff like that. And I went through the Marvel database, and it was fun looking at them and finding some of the 40s images. I may go back and read, kind of like find some of these are in public domain, like the Daring comics and stuff like that. I may go check it out. But some Golden Age comics are a little rough. But it's neat to see the early stuff, and I like how it's all tied in with Two Gun Kid, because at the end is Steve and Matt, Steve Rogers and Matthew Hawk, delivering the package with his mask and 6 guns to his grandson, the grandson of the Angel. So it's just very cool. It is really good. Check it out. I got the hardcover on eBay for a song. I mean, it was like $15, and it's beautiful shape, and I loved it. So yeah, I think you can get them out there. They're not on the app, I don't think. All right, I stand corrected. I stopped what I was jabbering about, and all 8 issues are on there. Go read it. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it. And I'm gonna check out the Mystery Men. Let me see if that is on there. But it makes me want to go back and do a Thunderbolts reread, which would no way a bad thing. But I don't see Mystery Men in there. I'm going to have to see if I can find them online. But it's a lot of fun. Check it out. It's good, solid 1940s superhero. It's not a teen book, but since it was so many years and I was so impressed by it, and I kind of stopped what else I was reading to read it. I just wanted to talk about it and put it out there and see what you guys think. Also, went to the comic shop and got some books. Probably wait until I do another run before I do another comic book. What I bought, but I did buy the Tom King Rorschach. I'm pronouncing that wrong. A hardcover, because I read the first few issues in floppy and then didn't get the rest because of money, but I got a nice discount on it. And I'm looking forward to it. I like Tom King's writing. I don't get the single issues of his stuff, but I'm going to start getting some of them in trade. I'm intrigued by some of the stuff he's written. But check that out. Hey, Tuesday, more Legion. Thursday, more Defenders. And next week, Len Wein. Me and Ron from Fantastic Comic Fan recorded that yesterday, and I posted a week from yesterday, which would be Saturday. But check us out. I hope you enjoyed this. Reach out to us at stopletsteamup@gmail.com or DM me at JSA4E, that is JSA, the number 4, the letter E, on Twitter. Let me know what you want. Let me know of some creators you want to talk about, an individual story you want me to talk about, something if you want me to talk about, one of my longer episodes, which I haven't done in a while. I'm hoping to get with Jimbo soon and do some more Legion. There's some other stuff I want to single issues I want to cover with certain people, and hope to get those recorded soon. But until then, folks, hey, be safe, be smart, be kind, and read some comics.